All good.
No,
Well, so where are settings though now, Jason? It
Well,
left me.
so you're on the.
Yeah.
Hello.
There you go. Try
Are
to
you able
stop.
to join the Zoom
Click on
meeting
it.
for a minute? We're gonna try a test run.
Just left click. Anyway,
Yes.
There we go.
The
But
app
more.
is different than logging on.
Yeah, so go,
more. Should be nice, don't you?
so,
Go to more.
no, that you were just there.
Oh, share
So if you
screen.
go to the app, that you can, but it's like.
Yeah.
Either you can right click on the screen and allow them permission, or you have to go into the
Nice.
settings. What?
So much trust. And we had good conversations 4 or 5 times.
I think-
One of them was.
I feel like I got so familiar with GoToMeeting.
On the control bar, click the upward arrow icon next to share.
Yes, hit that, yeah,
Pop
hit
up
that,
window over here.
hit that again.
But
Under
maybe because
the,
there's no one
click
there.
on it,
I am clicking on it, but maybe because there's no one there, I can't assign it to anyone.
so it says click on a pop-up window, click on advanced, click on the up,
Advanced
Arrow.
sharing options?
yes,
Yeah,
and then.
Okay.
yeah.
We'll try to getting it set up.
So it's all participants, so we have to be very careful
Yeah.
with that.
Or you just want one,
Yeah.
one participant, each year at a time.
Can I close
Yeah,
this out?
yeah,
Why
maybe,
don't you-
maybe
We're going
one,
with one.
One.
You guys
There you
are-
go.
there's no all participants, so it's,
Who can share?
They got 2.
Yeah.
It's gotta be all participants.
yeah.
She was.
No, that was it. That's it, isn't it?
Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Do you know?
Oh, yeah, that's.
Okay.
Or go ahead and see if you can share.
You got your keys?
Oh, I do.
Lord, I'll see you soon.
You skied this morning?
Yeah.
I know my
Thank you.
kids.
No, she didn't, she sounds
It was
full,
great.
she
I was
lets the
gonna
kids
go,
skip
but I didn't know.
2/3 of school,
Oh,
so I'm back in
figuring
time
out
for
shared
lunch.
screen.
Just after
Can
they.
you see? Can you see?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
we can hear you and we can see it, so I think we're all set, we'll probably just pause until it's time. We have a couple
Thank you.
public for you.
Nice picture.
Okay,
Thanks.
awesome. Greg, I'm gonna hang up.
Okay, so how do I go back to our screen though?
This, she's gonna leave it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanna do that.
Can you just get out, can
So
you
click on-
exit out of there?
No,
I mean,
that's just the window.
Right there.
You know what, I
Go
don't
up to the
know, is that a
view, up
Roof's
in the upper
picture?
right.
Em?
Right there.
Probably.
Good, yeah, no.
Just make sure it's side by side.
We're all set with the meeting here.
So that when she's scaring or sharing, it kind of takes over the,
Scary.
it's
Scary.
exit full screen. I think it's gonna take over the whole thing. Yeah, oh, sorry.
Why
So
don't you-
she's gotta stop sharing.
Why don't you minimize it or whatever?
I can't.
You can't minimize it?
Because we have
Well, I guess I
that,
can go like this,
the public
and
hearing.
then I'll pull it back over. And I'm gonna go with standard view again. Oh, except for I just did screen. I mean, does it really matter that it's sitting there for the first couple of public hearings? Do we care?
I don't think anybody's, if they do, they can.
Yeah, they're just.
It
gonna
sounds
look
like,
at that.
it's almost like C-SPAN. Just like leave the one camera up.
Like, I
It
just
doesn't
don't
know
know
what
what
it
that's
is.
about, just leave it like that, except for we still have the video from. How are we gonna, what's the plan? I might.
So if you're gonna have them present first.
You at the,
Yeah, well, she's gonna present first, correct?
she is first.
And then you can, she's gonna stop sharing after that, and then you have the option to share it.
Okay.
Leave next month.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
figured they'll be to us early in April.
Yeah.
Because I had wanted to transfer the check. So we can have a total audit
Right.
to know, like, you got the last audit amount from me, what was in holding and I wanna do it all again. And I wanna get a report to Kathy, so it's in the minutes. Jason, I feel like I should apologize, I'm not choked up about you or any of that.
No, I understand, like, and yeah, you've been in a lot of conversations where I have not been, so it's kind of,
So,
I was
so
there.
this is in no way me saying, I don't respect your opinion or
Yeah.
moving forward.
We are being recorded, sorry.
Anyway, it's
I get
not
it.
you and me.
He didn't want to admit in public that he had, it's not you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's recording, you don't wanna stop apologizing.
Because, with your request of the 3 items, we could turn this quickly.
Yeah, real fast.
Listen, it's all about like. I'm one of those, it's not about me, it's about like, what is the mission? You want-
Does anyone want to see a picture of the top of the mountain today? It was so
No, because all of us
beautiful
are
today.
Did you post it on Facebook?
No, I'm not on Facebook.
Oh, that's right. Like I said, I wouldn't know if you
People are
did, so that's
working.
my point.
Is our April
Oh,
meeting?
yeah, gotcha.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Is our
Yeah.
April meeting the
See, I've
ninth?
got, I've got mine looking up,
Cause it's the second.
yes,
Thursday.
yes,
I'll
skyward.
be flying back, I'll be back before the.
And then lower Skyward,
Okay.
you know that I don't see Skyward, but when we were picking up 6, I was like, okay, so Frank, if you're gonna see Skyward, you're not seeing lower Skyward. Cause it was just terrible, like it looked terrible.
Yeah,
And then so Frank goes, I know where I'm going. And so we met at the bottom, we met back at 6.
on top of Victoria, oh.
No, I didn't wanna take her back down the top of Victoria, so, which she was fine.
Cause that was nice.
Yeah, Victoria was nice, but then we accidentally went down Victoria's chute. And her and I both took a very serious stumble.
I saw so many yard sales on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
shoot.
it's, I just, yeah.
Maybe it was you.
section, I was me, it was me and my
Yard
dog.
sales are
I
good.
was like, oh my god,
There were, and the thing is, I don't know if they got the, how was the grooming today?
it was good.
Okay, cause they got that problem.
Yeah.
You know, and they brought the guy in from Bel Air.
They actually had, like on Skyward, they groomed the
Oh, she's
right
out,
side
good.
going down
Right,
and left the powder on the lap.
okay,
So, and it was typical reflection of the mountain as you lost elevation,
Yeah.
it just got crappy,
Yeah.
crappy.
yeah, that's the thing.
Boring,
You wanna
it's
really
Really?
they're gonna mow it soon.
That's why I didn't go, because it's, you know, I mean, I haven't gone in about a month. And once I hit that stuff, I'm done.
You were probably just getting there when I was leaving.
Yes, well, we got there at 8:20.
Oh, okay. Cause I leave at 10:30.
That's what it
That's
is.
enough.
Yeah, I'm usually home at least by noon. I don't know how some many people can go all day long. My neighbor, when he comes up there, they're there by 9
They
o'clock.
paid for a ticket.
They get a pass, they get a pass.
Well, but how much,
Jennifer.
the equivalent to the energy expelled you skiing compared to them? I got a friend that goes,
It's like I see her
you know,
at the county meeting.
one run,
Okay.
mid lodge,
Wow.
maybe
Oh, we didn't know, no. Not-
go up again.
I can't do anything like that, that's my goal.
But it- I
Nice.
went with my
It's like 4 people.
late brother-in-law,
Okay,
and
It
had
was,
6 gear, and he
it was a
got
leading
dementia really bad.
job.
Yeah.
So last time I went skiing,
Yeah.
he would button them out, he would just, but the last time I went with him, I believe we stopped 8 times from the gondola.
Yeah,
I'm going, and he's just looking. Yeah,
it's all new to him, huh?
yeah, yeah. No, I can't do, no, I mean, I rarely will stop once on the way down.
I did, it's pretty true.
Good.
I was after riding my bike for 90 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, my day's over at 10:30 in the morning.
And when you get down near the bottom, it becomes a little bit tougher. That's the thing.
There are quite a few people there. It was pretty crowded.
But they're not making any money because it's all us.
Yeah, the locker room was so packed and I after like the third person I saw that said something like skip school today. I walked into the locker room, there's like, 20, it's like Charlie Levitt, it's like all those guys there. I was like, just to clear the air, yes, they skip school today. Before I can.
No, they're homeschooling today.
They're skipping the first part of the day. I have stuff to do.
You thought of that.
Oh, the Fed has perfect attendance.
No, you yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, if I skate, maybe next year, that would be awesome.
So what's school next week?
They don't have Friday.
They don't have Friday?
No, Friday is this week. We don't
Oh,
have-
yeah,
no,
they
it's
have
not.
Friday's next week though too.
No, Good Friday is like
Am I
2
missing a
weeks.
week in between?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's 2 weeks.
I'm trying to figure out how much school Jared's missing, so. Not that he cares.
It was going down the.
Yeah, we're going with us.
Where's the differentiation between?
He's probably missing.
So he's missing.
Good Friday.
No, we have a poster out there that says we're closed at 12 on Good Friday. I was like, when are we starting?
We've done that for years.
Yeah, but it's just.
Oh, yeah.
Well, just do what you used to.
All right, let's open this
Wait,
public
hold
hearing.
on, no, we are ready. We are, everyone can hear us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, do we want to just start with public hearing or are we like opening the meeting?
No, we're just opening the public
Alright.
hearing.
So I would first wanna welcome Jennifer Smith, who is with Adirondack Roots, she's in the middle there. So Jen, remind me of your title again?
Community Development Director.
So she has been heading up this project on behalf of us with Adirondack Roots, so thank you, Jennifer. And all the money is pretty much spent, right, Jen?
All but a little bit, yes.
Which is great news, so thank
Must be
you.
hanging out with Derek.
So this is just the formality that we have to have the public hearing, and I'm gonna read the legal notice, because that's part of the formality. The town of North Elba will hold a second public hearing at 5:15 on March 12, 2024 at the North Elba Town Hall, 2693 Main Street, Suite 101, Lake Placid, New York, 12946. For the purpose of hearing public comments on the town of North Elba's current community development block grant CDBG project number 814 HR 321-21 in the amount of $500,000. The CDBG program is administered by the New York State Office of Community Renewal, OCR, and provides resources to eligible local governments for housing, economic development, public facilities, public infrastructure, and planning activities with the principal purpose of benefiting low to moderate income persons. The hearing will provide further information about the progress of the ongoing CDBG project. Comments related to the effectiveness of the administration of the CDBG project will also be received at this time. The hearing is being conducted pursuant to section 570.486 subpart I or 1, I can't tell, of the CFR and is in compliance with the requirements of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended. The town of North Elba Town Hall is accessible to persons with disabilities. If special accommodations are needed for persons with disabilities, those with hearing impairments, or those in need of translations from English, those individuals should contact Mr. Derek Doty, supervisor at 518-523-9516, at least 1 week in advance of the hearing date to allow for necessary arrangements. Written comments may also be submitted to the North Elba Town Supervisor, 2693 Main Street, Suite 301, Lake Placid, New York, 12946 by 3/11/2024 at 4 p.m. With that, I will ask if there's anyone from the public who would like to comment. There's someone from the public in attendance.
Was on the jump.
Jennifer, did you have any updates or anything that you wanted to share with us?
I do. Thank you for having me. I have something I have written also, so I make sure that I hit all of the notes that I have to. So I just have something written, it just goes through everything. So thank you for having me. Sorry I'm not there in person, but I am happy to update the town on the CDBG grant that is currently renovating homes in North Elba. The town was awarded $500,000 in December of 2021. We currently have dispersed about everything but $39,496. We received an extension to complete the projects that remain with a new deadline of July 1st, 2024. The CDBG money is being used to complete renovations on 4 homes and partial funds toward a mobile home replacement. 3 of the 4 homes that needed rehab are complete. Work was needed on the exterior of 1 home that was delayed due to a conflict of interest that needed approval before work could begin. And after the long process, the approval was given, but not enough time for the cold weather to become a factor. An extension was approved so that we could work, so that the work could be completed in the spring and early summer. The construction company has already been working at this home for the past couple weeks. The residents and town officials have been amazing to work with. Some of the work included a new bathroom, lead, paint, and asbestos testing and remediation, insulation in the attic, exterior paint and repair to siding, new windows, new roofs of many of the homes, new boilers, new foundation and repair, replacement of interior doors, replacement of unsafe stairs and railings, unsafe lighting was replaced, plumbing replacement, deck work to improve safety, chimney removal, and electrical updates along with smoke and carbon monoxide detectors for all homes. Adirondack Roots strives to work with low to moderate income families and improve their housing needs. Applications are always accepted for residents' housing needs in Essex, Hamilton, Franklin, and and for those counties. Applications can be picked up at our office in Elizabethtown or the North Elba Town Hall and submitted to Havoc. Any questions?
Any questions for Jennifer?
I'll just ask quick, you said there's only 39,000 left to disperse. And do you have applications for that?
That is the money that hasn't been spent yet for the home. We have every dollar spent. We just haven't dispersed
Oh,
it yet.
okay.
because the work hasn't been completed. So that money, along with some additional money from a different funding agency, will be used, so every dollar will be spent.
Perfect.
Jennifer, can you remind me, has the mobile home replacement happened yet?
Yes, it's all complete. We have final few punch list items. But they have been living in the home since, I think, before Christmas. So
Okay.
they have some work to do, like obviously we can't, put down grass seed and things like that in the winter. So that is a springtime thing that will be done. But that already has been allotted. It hasn't been paid basically, but the money has been allotted for that work to be done because it couldn't be done in the winter. Other than that, they're very happy. I know that the mom and the kids have really adjusted well and are super, super thankful.
Well, we're very thankful for you and everyone at Adirondack Roots for moving this forward, because even though we have Haley and she does a great job, it would be very difficult for Haley to do this on her own. So thank you, Adirondack Roots.
Haley's been a fantastic help to me, because if I need anything, I always know I can go to Haley and she can come to me. So we work, in conjunction with each other really well. So I am, happy to help with whatever I can for any project.
Well, maybe we'll see if you guys want to do another one.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments on CDBG grant opportunities? With no more comments, I'll close this public hearing. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll step out now.
Oh, you're gonna miss some exciting stuff.
I see that. That does sound pretty exciting, but I will let you guys go. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at any time.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Bye.
Couple of minutes, we'll open up.
Yep, so for those online, we have 2 minutes until our second public hearing. 3 minutes. That's really terrible math on my part, sorry. So.
You gotta break in a new seat today.
Yep.
Yep,
There's
different perspective.
It's perfect.
You can do it.
Greg, have you met Lori?
I don't think so.
Town
Nice to
clerk?
meet
Nice to meet you.
you. KSP. Nice to meet you.
What does KSPE stand for?
Kathleen Swazo, PE, professional engineer. PLC,
Founder. Yeah.
yes.
You have a very simple marketing department.
Well,
I just think.
I'll show you right here, right here.
There's a new person trying to learn to type that, 'cause it's my email is kspepllc.com. I still don't type it correctly. A lot of the same letters next to each other.
For Olaf and Tracy, you just joined, we just have a public hearing at 5:25 on fire districts, so we're just waiting 1 more minute.
Okay.
Public hearing.
Just did want back to a hostile audience.
Oh, yeah, so I actually have a sign. Yeah, you guys signed, I can sign this.
Sure.
Just like the 10 minutes.
Sorry, I had to move over closer. Lori. What a shot. Okay, good, thank you. Your students. Oh, we do one, it's not just Saturday.
No, it's a lot, I go down the river, so it's not a lot.
Good to know, yeah. It's perfect, it's like.
Mine says 25.
All right, with the time being 5:25, I'd like to open the second public hearing for fire protection through Saranac Lake for the town of North Elba. Please take notice that the town of North Elba will hold a public hearing on March 12th at 5:25 in the North Elba Town Hall, 2693 Main Street, Lake Placid, New York. To consider entering into contract pursuant to Law 184 of the town law between the town of North Elba and Village of Saranac Lake, by which the Village of Saranac Lake Fire Department will provide fire protection, emergency rescue, and first aid squad relief for the North Elba Fire Protection District Number 2 for the year 2024. A copy of said contract is on file with the town clerk of the town of North Elba and available for review and inspection. With that being said, is there any comments from those virtually or in the public? With any questions for the town board with relation to that contract? Hello, Sydney.
Hi.
May I ask us a question?
You sure can.
By contract, we receive statistics, correct?
Right,
Like how many calls were in our district, both ambulance, EMS and fire?
calls. We don't get data when we get the bid for the amount,
Okay,
but we're available to that information on request.
Okay.
And just as a side, oddly enough, the way everything goes up every year, this contract actually went down. I'm gonna say just over $1,000. You know, the contracted amount is just over 49,000 this year. Last year it was $50,400.
What was the reasoning for going down? They needed less money.
I'm sure a lot of it had to do with, well, not just budget, but maybe insurance paybacks and you know, the whole assessment for a whole year long.
let's see, if there's only 2 calls in the district, you know, that's quite a hefty fee
Yeah,
per call.
But it's nice to know that.
It is, it's,
I mean, I guess we can look at mutual aid between our 2 fire departments, which is evident on many calls now
yes.
because of,
Shortages.
yeah. I'll leave it open just for a couple more minutes and then we'll get into our regular board meeting.
Sydney, I'm disappointed though, you missed an update on the CDBG grant, so I would like to, you should like watch the recording, so you can get an update on it.
Alright.
But almost all the money has been spent down from that grant.
Awesome.
You
She
were.
was having a great day,
I
Emily,
know.
until you told her what she missed.
Well, she can watch the recording.
I know I have FOMO now.
So you should post it right now, so it's been on her phone.
What are the townhouses slated to be?
Once we have HOA, you're switching to Pine Valley.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Is that still waiting on the state?
Yeah,
Do they give you any reasons why?
it just takes time. There's people listening here.
You dotted all your i's and crossed all your t's and it's
Yeah.
still sitting there in someone's desk.
Oh, there's a lot of back and forth.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
In fairness to them, it's not just sitting there, there is a lot.
all right, okay.
Well, seeing out all the comments just coming from here, I'm gonna close this public hearing on the Saranac Lake Fire contract.
Hey Haley, can I ask, can you hear me? Can I ask you a question? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, the time's 5:30. I'd like to call this town board meeting of Town of North Elba to order and please rise for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting February 13th.
All the time, he says, do you know?
So moved. Second.
Second by Dick. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carried. At this time, I'm proud to introduce the team from Swazo Engineering. They have a presentation for us tonight with respect to a proposed West Valley sidewalk project. With that being said, I think first I'll introduce Greg Swart.
Yes.
On the screen is Carr and Mark Swazo. And I think I'll turn things over to you and let us know what's going on.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting us today for this presentation. We are here to present the feasibility study for the West Valley Road and Cummings Road, a new pedestrian sidewalk. So as Supervisor Doty mentioned, there's Mark Swazo. He's our lead engineer for this project. He's a high Mark.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us here today.
What's a senior engineer?
And Greg is on the side with you guys, and that's me, Carl Swazo. And there's also two sub-key members that I want to introduce for you guys. It's Catherine Swazo. She is the founder of our firm, and that's where the KSP name comes from. Is Catherine Swazo PLLC. That's on all of her. And we also have Sean Doty. He also is one of our principal, and he has a lot of experience working with the municipal engineering side. So just a little bit overview of KSPE. Our main office is in Bowling Landing, New York. It's right here. And we started back in 2017. And when Kathy retired, and she said, retiring is not my thing. So here you go, KSPE. And last year, we started another firm in town of North Alba. If anyone know where this one is,
It's right there.
Is it at
it's
workshop?
across from the Hannaford.
Yeah, come on, workshop.
Yes. Let's get into the project itself. So the objective of this project is to plan for a safe pedestrian sidewalk on West Valley Road and Cummings Road. So here is an overview picture of the project. The project is started as at the intersection of the Saranac Ave on the West Valley Road all the way down to at the intersection of Cummings Road, and where you're going to cross and all the way to this point. I believe is a shipyard, the U.S. Shipyard Center. It will be a one side sidewalk with curbings. Obviously, we had to be ADA compliant, so there will be about 5 feet long, and the total project length will be about a mile, give or take. So here we are. This is the beginning of the project. So the idea is to start at the side of the sidewalk, which is going to be the east side of the road, and it will connect to the crosswalk on Saranac Ave. So it will give the pedestrians, a safe walking way all the way down. And the end of the sidewalk will be on Cummings Road. It's going to be right here. And, and this is a Shipman Youth Center. And that's going to be there's an existing sidewalk that you're going to connect to using a crosswalk. The next page. So there will be a total of 2 crossings overall for the whole project, and all is on West Valley Road. There won't be any crossing on Cummings Road, and it just will be on the north side of the road itself. The first crossing will be right here. It will be before the intersection of Nash intersections. The reason why we want to do that is for safety, stop distance measures, so to provide, pedestrian a safer way to cross. So the idea is, it will be from the east side. So it's all the way from the bottom, beginning of the Saranac Ave, all the way down here, and then you're going to cross right here to the west side of the road. And then then obviously you go all the way down the West Valley Road until you about to hit the Cummings Road intersection, where you'll be crossing again prior to the intersection to the new sidewalk that we are proposing on Cummings Road. For at this point, we are working on the engineering report. What you've seen so far is just a conceptual layout based on, to be avoiding mostly the utilities, mainly power pole and, whatever the utilities will be on the way. However, that might change based on the survey because we are not, the survey, we are in contract right now, but they are not going to be performed until beginning of April or end of March. We already talked to this, have a crew on site to do that. Right after that, we would have a site visit just to do inspections, just to do some mock out and see what do we need to finalize the designs. One thing I do want to point out that I forgot about is the pink polygons here. It will be all the property owners that would probably get involved with this project. We've been starting the process to notify them. There will be a survey, with the engineering crew coming out, to do the planning. And the next page, yes, and then we will get the final report for the conceptual design. We know we probably have the cost estimate. Will be actually more preliminary planning a plan for you guys to take a look at and present to the board by the end of June. And then the next slide would go to Mark.
Thank you, Park. Yeah, so Karen outlined some of the steps you would have gone over. Moving forward, this was primarily review the planning and feasibility report for the project. And the goal is that after that is completed, we would look at, that would kind of be the first two dots there, the feasibility report, the concept design. There may be some additional preliminary planning that is probably the next step after that is once the board counts things with short and hand, they can look at the project cost and will recommend the permit approvals that are required, public notification and public development, and then especially look at pushing the potential grant funding.
Yeah.
Mark, for some reason your audio isn't clear.
Oh, one moment.
So it just sounded like you were like, it was very jumbled when you were just like everything.
Yeah.
I don't think we understood.
Yeah.
anything.
How about now?
You're good now.
Okay, sorry about that.
That
That was a test to see if you guys were all paying attention, so. Sorry, so thank you, Cara, for going over that. So wanted to just map out the next steps for the board and the public. So the scope of work we're currently discussing is the feasibility report and concept design, which is kind of the primer to lay to the groundwork for the project. And that would be the first two dots that you see there. There may be some additional preliminary planning that's done as part of this. Then around June, we would hope to have the engineering report to the town board so that they'd be able to look at, it would have the cost estimates, schedules, planned permitting, and then we'd also probably look into grant funding for the project. There's potential grant sources that are out there. Once we've looked into those things, the project would advance into detailed design and construction, and then hopefully the public would have a nice sidewalk on West Valley Road to be able to use. You'll probably note that we haven't put dates in here yet, just because we're in a pretty preliminary stage. But as those dates are developed and we have a better idea of when things will happen, that would be included in the engineering report and presented to the board and to the public as well. And that's kind of it.
Thanks, Mark.
So that kind of the end of our presentations on this project. Any questions?
Let's ask the board for questions before I ask the public. Does the board have any questions?
No, I think it would help clarify for the public to understand that there are 70 to 75 property owners that we are contacting now for the survey aspect, so that we can determine whether easements are needed or their properties lie within the rights of way. That is a major part of this feasibility study.
I know we're looking to extend it all the way to Cernak Ave. Were the initial, so the village is looped in as well with this component? Because I thought we were gonna stop, or the idea was focus on the town component and hopefully we could fold the village in.
Well, I think I'll I'll speak first, then you guys can join in, but, the thought process is, let's encourage the full length in this feasibility study.
Let's get a plan for everything.
And then once we're down to a budget or a price, then we can talk. Like, I'll give you a good example. If, for instance, the town decided to take on the whole project, even the village section, it would leave us in a position to more favorably ask Brad if he would maintain those sidewalks
Sure.
till the end of time, because we don't currently have personnel or machinery to do that.
Hmm.
As you know, they do Mirror Lake for us, so there are a lot of different aspects to figuring out what the proportion is on this project. But we all recognize certainly a huge safety aspect to this sidewalk.
No, I'm pleased from a community standpoint that our initial conversations were focused on one stretch, but having the plan
Yeah.
map all the way to.
Well, it literally would have
pleased.
ended in the middle of West Valley.
Oh, I know, through all the conversations.
Can't get there from here.
Weird.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And I think that that's one thing, because I've received a couple of phone calls and that's been a question. You know, they're coming from and thinking that the town was just doing it within our boundaries. So it's a good thing to put out there saying the feasibility study is from point A to point B.
Which goes town, village, town.
Right.
If you were walking the sidewalk.
Yes, exactly.
And everyone would know that.
Yeah, it's very obvious. There's gonna be gold papers on the village section.
And just concrete it around.
Because that was the big question. The first question I got was, which side is it gonna be on? I mean, that's kind of goes, we know anyway. But the question was, well, what happens? I've talked to a gentleman that is about on the line, and he says, is it gonna stop at my house? Or is it gonna be on my house?
Right.
We did have a question in the chat, and so I'll just read it. Car, can you see that?
I cannot.
The sidewalk is recommended on the east side of West Valley between Saranac Ave and Nash, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
The sidewalk is recommended on the east side where between Sarah. Yes, that's the site. That's the site next to the fitness gym. That's the CrossFit. That's correct. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm gonna go to people in the audience first and then I'll go virtual. Does anyone in the audience have a question about the sidewalk?
I do.
Go ahead.
I didn't get what they said in terms of, it's the east side on West Valley to Nash, from Saranac Avenue to Nash.
That's right.
And then they cross, and it's gonna be on the west side of the highway from there down to Cummings Road.
Right.
And then they cross a crosswalk again to get to the Cummings Road, and Cummings Road on the north side, right?
On the Shipman Youth Center.
Okay, that's what I said.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
There's a sidewalk over there.
So that there's
Yeah, just
only
join
two
that.
crosswalk areas.
Well, one question I have with that then is you have that whole Mackenzie outlook, and that was a big reason why it's being built.
And
Are they gonna put a crosswalk from there or the other development that's just up the road?
And I'm sure what we'll have to do is tackle both our highway department, DOT,
Right,
so that's done right because of a lot more major crossing.
right, and it's just,
I had the same sort of sentiment. I think a lot of people do it. It's just that I'm willing to compromise in a sense because
right,
the other side is probably less expensive to cultivate
All
for.
about expensive.
I understand.
Because it doesn't, in my mind,
We're
with
gonna get away from that hill.
yeah, no,
Right,
So.
Yeah,
It's right there.
there's drainage and it's, because I was thinking the
I
same thing, I
understand
was
why
like,
it's on
this
the-
doesn't make sense to have to cross.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna have one, I'd rather have one than
Yeah.
not have one.
Exactly. Yeah.
We did talk about
I
that,
agree.
we did talk about that one in particular, and I think in the report, there'll be some other options besides the main, just the side of the road, so we'll. That spot particularly, we did talk about as either, maybe look at as like an option, or what options are available. So
Okay.
we'll go to those
Please,
things
sir.
too, yeah.
So there'd be like option A, B, and then within the component of the overall project and the cost and how that factors, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, basically present the side of the road and then probably like some other things to think about as part of it. So if we've got some other crossings or there's other couple other side roads, if there's anything else we need to do there.
Okay.
Any more questions from the audience?
Yeah, actually, I have a question. Okay, so from Saranac Lake to Nash, we all know how narrow that road is. I mean, with the plows, with the cars, is it going to make it narrower? Or is it going to, extend? Because I live on the corner of West Valley and Acorn. So it's gonna be on the opposite side, but that's where there's a lot of traffic right there going down into Chickadee. There's a lot of, and there are a lot of people that walk, but it's very narrow right there.
Because especially coming from West Valley, I can't stand to take a left up Acorn because it's like.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why half the time when we leave our driveway, which is on Acorn, we actually go up around the block, so we don't have to go up the hill right there.
My wife and I got into it, like, why are you going all the way down that? She's like, I can't see them.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So your concern is just about winter maintenance?
Yeah, winter maintenance and the amount of traffic on.
So you say that the sidewalk is gonna be on,
Be on the opposite
it's
side
gonna be
of
opposite
us
side of us.
until down to Nash.
Okay,
And
right.
then Nash,
Well, 'cause I was gonna
right?
say, because the way they plow, everything comes right up against our fence. And I'm thinking, how are they gonna keep that sidewalk clear? But if it's gonna be the other side, that's not a problem.
I would also say that we are not the experts on plowing, but we're happy to look at our highway.
I was hoping sidewalk would be there, so I wouldn't have to mow that area. I wouldn't have to clear my mailbox out.
We didn't hear that.
Take the notes down. we
No,
can
you
hear that.
haven't erased it.
No, we heard it.
Dick, you don't.
So I'm on your side. On the other side.
Yeah, no, it's just very, very narrow
Yeah.
in that part of the road.
But Greg, safe to say, the sidewalks in no way are gonna narrow any of the lanes of traffic.
That is correct.
Yeah. I was saying-
Which is the need for ease
What is the
potentially
width
for
of
five.
5 feet?
Yep.
I would say the answer is I guess the answer now is. That's not the intention, but also that's what we're waiting on surveying, so we can figure out what,
Right.
Mhm.
where we need, because there's
Right.
minimum road widths and all those things we gotta figure
Right.
out.
Okay.
I guess in terms of the plowing and maintenance, at some point when we get that far, I would think we'll sit down with the highway.
Yeah.
Department and make sure that we're not causing any more issues than we have to, I
Well,
guess.
the snow is always gonna be the opposite of the sidewalk.
That's right.
Yeah.
I live there.
I am looking at the fact that the sidewalk's gonna be in front of my house. So my question really comes down to like, is this now my responsibility to clear? Is this going to
No.
be, besides the construction and all of that stuff, which I know we're not there yet? I'm just wondering because I recognize the need for this sidewalk and I'm concerned for a lot of people who are walking in the dark without any reflective gear on. But I am nervous about the fact that we don't have a sidewalk and now what is that gonna look like for my property? So we won't know until the survey happens.
They should have a design.
I'll let Swazo answer that.
But it's not your responsibility, like the town will be, town or village, if you're in the village is responsibility.
Sure, sure.
Exactly.
I think there will be
There's
care, we're not doing, they're gonna go, oh, we're gonna,
It's the other bill.
eminent domain your property, and then all of a sudden you have a sidewalk.
I know,
From
which
your-
is why I'm like, oh.
through your window, then we'll just pull up our chairs and sit out front of your house. There will be conversations and deliberations, so you will have some
Okay.
conversation.
I realize that in some communities, that it is the responsibility of the homeowner.
Correct.
Not here.
Okay,
No,
that's
no.
really what I wanted to.
Which is the need for the surveys and the easement language and.
Correct, I was gonna say, I'm gonna have to look at that, because obviously now we're talking about it, so.
Yeah, individual properties would be easier to have the conversation once we get the survey done, so we can sketch it out a little bit better than just a.
One thing, are there any sidewalks in the town?
Yeah, the back of Mirror Lake Drive.
Oh, just around.
Yeah,
That's it.
there are not.
So this is the first real sidewalk. I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's not even,
Yeah,
it's like,
elementary.
it's already like blacktop in it, and I only go.
There's a section over by the elementary school.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm gonna go to virtual
Yeah.
now.
Chat there, yeah.
Oh, it's chat. Does this mean the village will finish the sidewalk on Acorn Street? That sounds like a village question, and so I can't answer that one. Sorry, whoever asked that. but I don't like to speak for the village. But if anyone online would like to unmute themselves and ask a question, now is your time.
Nash to, so.
Yeah, because it stops in the middle.
Oh.
And it stops in the middle.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. It's only the bad side.
Oh, wait, did I miss a question? Sorry.
Right there currently.
Currently from Saranac to the first turn, the street is being used as a drag strip by many drivers. Perhaps it's only traffic calming features. I'll let Greg maybe answer that one. Traffic calming features, I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know. Yeah.
Generally narrowing the road or line striping, at the moment, that's not currently in the plan. I think once we see where the sidewalk actually falls, it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't think we can narrow it anymore.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no.
this is Mark. We'll have to incorporate some DOT standards. And while not narrowing it, there will be some additional signage and striping features that we are intended to provide traffic calming on the road.
That's me.
All right, with that, I'm gonna, and one more call for questions.
Yeah, people do.
Oh, yeah.
Jason's trying. Jason's good.
Yes, we're just.
I understand it's too early to speculate on timing, but is there a ballpark of whether this be a 1-year or a 2-year project? I would say I would not confirm any timeline on this project. Sorry to answer that way. But it's all gonna depend on funding, and so it's when we can find funding for the project. So this is step 1 of this sidewalk, and sometimes step 1, it's 10 years later that you get to that final step, and hopefully it's not 10 years later, but it's gonna be where and when we find funding for it.
Sidewalks are very.
Randy, yes, the sidewalk will end on the, at the Shipman Youth Center.
Because there's another sidewalk
There's
that
another
picks
sidewalk
up there,
begins on the other side.
yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you to Skills Engineering for attending.
There are.
Thank you for having us.
That they were showing.
Thank you,
there.
everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Many thanks, Chris.
All right, now I have to figure out how to do the stop screen sharing with your.
Be like Saranac Lake where they had the sidewalk and they left the telephone poles in the sidewalk.
PDF and that's.
Yeah, big screen for sweeping.
No rush.
We'll do that. You're right.
Go up to this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See us today. It's such a gallery.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, we are attempting, you think you'll be able to get to it?
Yeah, let's see, I might just turn this over to Jason
Oh, wait, don't.
to try and play the, you wanna talk about it?
The town is in a working relationship with community schools and Keith Clark. Who has a small group of 6 to 8 kids that are in a job and career training program. And over the winter, those kids participated with Orda and worked, I believe, 6 or 8 weeks every Friday afternoon for a few hours, and it exposes them to different aspects of the community with jobs. In the case of the town of North Elbow, we are gonna incorporate those kids to work in the Park District this spring into early summer, and we're excited about it. Keith was gonna be here tonight, but unfortunately, he's away, so he made a little short 7-minute video that explains the program, and I think it's just a great aspect of that community schools program he runs.
At the very least, if we can't figure out how to share it online, we're gonna play it here, so whoever's listening, who's ever joining us virtually can hear it, but they're just not gonna be able to see Keith.
Just trying to get to the active tab here. I'm not gonna show, there we go. I'll just do it. I'm just gonna-
Just hit play.
Hello, Town Board, Mr. Doty. I'm here to speak to you tonight about a program at our school. I'm Keith Clark, the Community School Coordinator, and I'd like to talk to you about JACT, JACT, Job and Career Training. I've met with Derek a couple times on this topic and talked to Matt as well about it. and I'm interested in pursuing a partnership with the Park District in particular for the upcoming spring. We have 7 students in a program called Stream. It's an alternative setting. 6 of the 7 students are 10th graders, 1 is a 9th grader. Many of these students will likely go to the Adirondack Education Center next year for to be educated on some trades. And this program, JACT, is kind of a stepping stone toward that possibility. The Stream program started last year, but JACT started this year. Mr. Seymour and I discussed the idea of trying to do some job and career training for these students. So that was one of my tasks this year. So we started out by meeting with the students and talking about what JACT would be. I spent a couple of weeks with them talking about the different types of businesses, how businesses work, how capitalism works. We then kind of walked through the village and kind of looked at all the different opportunities in our community. Opportunities in our community. We brought in Jen Holdery and Trisha Preston to do 3 workshops with students on how to be a good worker, how to be professional, how to carry yourself, how to advocate for yourself. A lot of the job skills, work that you have to have, interpersonal skills. And then from there, we reached out to the Olympic Center and the general manager, Chad Cassidy, about a partnership for these students to possibly do some shadowing or job training at the Olympic Center. And ORDA and the Olympic Center were more than gracious. And we placed our students at the Olympic Center for the end of November through December and into January for 8 Fridays. JACT runs on Fridays, where they worked with and shadowed an Olympic Center employee. All students did something different, from auto mechanics to refrigeration to food service to carpentry to ice maintenance. They were all placed in a different setting based on their choices. They could switch if they wanted to, but they didn't. And they actually applied through the Olympic Center, through ORDA, went through the whole application process, and then were hired, and they were actually compensated through the Olympic Center. So when that placement was up, we then toured 3 other businesses in Lake Placid, different types of businesses, Pure Placid, Central Garage, and the Golden Arrow. And then we started our second placement. Our second placement will be we are in the midst of it right now, for 5 Fridays. Our students are basically job shadowing now at places like Pure Placid, Golden Arrow, with the police department, back at the Olympics. Back at the Olympic Center, and that's going really well. That's going to end going into our spring break. So my proposal for the town, and what I've talked to Derek about, is working with Matt, Derek, and Chelsea to once again offer our students a spring placement with the Park District. All students working for the Park District for 7 Fridays. 1 Friday prior to that would be a tour of all things Park District. And then 7 Fridays where they would be employed by the Park District. My proposal is that they would apply and go through whatever process the town.
I would have restarted the computer possibly.
The town felt was needed, and hopefully be employed by the town for 2 hours on those 7 Fridays. And then sitting down with Matt and Chelsea and Derek, coming up with a game plan where they will help prepare for the spring and summer for you guys. and do multiple tasks to get the community ready for so many of the events that we host, whatever deemed fit. And we would drive them to different work sites and have a plan for what they would do in those 7 Fridays. The advantage here is, I think our students, having worked at the Olympic Center and their second placements and done the tour, is they are starting to learn about the dynamic economy Lake Placid has, and that there's all these moving parts for the events that come to this community. So I think they're ready to work towards preparing the Park District for a lot of the upcoming events that they are in charge of that tie into our community. And I think it would be clean. It was really nice, the Olympic Center, that all 7 were there. This would also be really clean as well. I wanted to note that 3 of our students of the 7 are still working at the Olympic Center. 1 is working regularly. The other 2 are kind of, they come in when there are big events. So that has been an advantage for the Olympic Center as well. It's something that maybe will work out with the Park District. You might be able to find some young employees through this process heading into summer. I know that I worked at the horse show for 2 summers, my sophomore and junior year, and those were my best summer jobs that I enjoyed, working on that crew. So I'm an advocate for the Park District, and I would love to see if some of our kids would, hedge that way heading into summer work. So that's my proposal. Again, we'd come back after spring break, we'd tour. The kids would actually go through the application process in those first 2 weeks. They would be hired by the Park District and compensated for 2 hours of work for 7 Fridays. And we would help the Park District get ready for the upcoming spring and summer. I apologize I couldn't be here tonight. Heading to Ottawa with Butch Martin and a bunch of hockey.
Yeah, I think he'd rather not go there. He's just gonna talk about where he is.
He's not here.
Officials, to kind of celebrate his retirement and just have a night out with him, so.
And there you have it. Anyway, we're looking forward to hosting 7 kids, is that what he said?
Yeah.
So that'll
That's
be
exciting.
good.
And my only question was, Matt is on board, and obviously I know he's worked for them, but
Yeah.
he's ready to, he has the time to mentor and.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll sit down and help identify exactly what the kids will do, any safety protocols we have to cover. If they need safety gear.
And I would assume also that it sounds like what Keith wants them to go through, which I think is a great idea, is actually like an interview process. So I'm sure the liaisons will be pulled in to actually do an interview with them.
Sure.
Which I'm happy to do.
Oh, yeah.
To give them the experience.
And also it sounds like they're looking for, I don't know, just the way he said it, and compared to like going across the street he's looking for 7 different areas.
Right.
And I don't know if we have, you know what I mean?
So that was my only other thought was, what if is it still the same, like, why not, like, let's go to highway? Like there's, I feel like that's a good match at highway.
Yeah, well, I don't think highway you could do it
There's a lot of things going on.
because of their ages.
In transfer station, I think
Transfer
like.
station, probably.
Sorry, I guess I should have said, I didn't mean like that, I meant
Okay.
like running or cycling.
Yes, well, yeah, recycling and like that, I don't think it'd be a problem, but that's the point. I think he's looking for, 1 person in each task every Friday.
Craig
So
will
we got
go across,
7.
getting beach area ready.
Yeah.
No, there should be a
Well,
two-person couple.
before, I think it cause I also know that Kenny, because the whole idea, 2 ideas, right? You get students trained to be workers.
Right.
And then also we get potential workers.
Oh, yeah.
And so it'd be nice to also be thinking of highway and transfer station to
Oh, yes,
expose them.
no, I think, yeah, well, that's the thing, don't limit it, like, to your point, don't limit it just to Park District. I mean, that's where we probably would get most of the seasonal help.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, expose them to later careers in other facets of the town.
Feeder program.
Just bring in Penny and when the meeting's happening.
Yes.
This is how you do it, just come in and ask for money.
No, that's,
As we
that's
lose
all my-
attendees.
Yeah, though people who are on for the sidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my only point, was just, I think you're looking for 7 different areas.
Let's move to new business. I know you were all sent this anyway, but you know how I am with paper.
Yes.
That's just our latest update on, our ARPA funding.
Still in the black.
Yeah, that's good.
And the latest thing that Kathy, added, of course, was, the addition of cameras at the toboggan chute, which you'll see, I think is 8,600.
The invoice from David was 8245.
Yeah.
Because they're already there, correct?
Well, the $50,000 that we allocated is on there, but this latest bill will come from that.
Again, when I talked to Matt today, he suggested, well, he indicated that from this camera money, that we could put a couple in down in the lacrosse area.
Oh, but we have,
More money.
oh yeah,
Well, but that's like, we got more money, but Matt seems to think that there's money for that in the 50 grand for.
oh, for
camera.
sure, we've identified beautification, wanting to
Right,
know there when,
Yep.
$40,000 worth of plants come in, we'll keep an eye on it.
yep,
3 or 4 cameras at lacrosse.
right,
Because this Premier Lacrosse League is definitely gonna wanna utilize, and we want website people to be able to see what's going on up there. Pickleball area,
yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
camera in.
And he suggested,
Craigwood?
yeah, he's also suggested putting one in the area of the C and D. With all the people coming in, going by the C and D, that they're not, I mean, they can't, the gate's there, but nothing says they can't just.
Yeah,
That too,
yep, that's all in the plan.
yeah, and I don't know if we wanna include that, but. Use up some more money we're gonna need more lighting back there too.
Yeah,
We're gonna, I mean, a couple poles at least.
and
I
of
didn't say
course,
fencing.
my whole intent in bringing up this ARPA is to let you know we're down to basically
That's what I mean.
20,000.
So if we want to, if we wanna do, for that court area, I keep calling it the court area, that's whatever, is lighting poles, lights on poles.
Yep,
And, you and I had talked about doing, it's in the future, but even we could do it if we have the money. I mean, the benches are in here, but you and I had talked about picnic tables too.
are they ordered, Dick? Those
They're
benches?
about to be. I thought they were, but they're about to be.
Okay,
After my conversation today.
okay.
And there's a synthetic, like poly,
No,
what kind of benches are they?
no,
Like the one at the beach.
because the feeling is, and I'll get some input here, obviously. I'm gonna get
Of course you will.
it. This one company has their benches similar to what's on Main Street, okay?
Okay,
Okay, and the thing is, if we are going to put picnic tables out there too, on pads or whatever, okay? This company has all that, which match,
Okay,
so we wouldn't have a mix, et cetera. So I don't know if we wanna allocate money toward picnic tables along with the benches.
I think we should see if there's a need for picnic tables.
I think there will be after we get that whole area done, because we'd like, the park idea. And if you're standing there and you pull in and you're looking to pickleball courts, and if we can get the money for the pump track. I mean, you bring the kids out there or whatever, that'll generate like it does down at Newman Park, where families are sitting around at the picnic tables. I'm not saying a lot of them, maybe 2 or 3.
but would even think that like people playing volleyball or pickleball, like I think they would utilize them.
I
more
think
than
they
bench.
would.
In my opinion.
Well, the benches
Could be a thing, cause if there's a tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
Cause I think Mark was telling me that you go over to Tupper Lake and they spend a fair amount of time there during.
Okay, yes.
So if you're gonna have people staying over there at nights and playing at night, might as well accommodate them, they can eat.
Well, my thing is you have 4 benches
Yeah.
and put those, between the 2 pickleball courts,
Okay.
okay?
people waiting to
Play
play.
and play,
Yeah,
okay? And then, like you said, other people around, eventual, we hope, pump track and all that. Out here and just past the pickleball courts between that and the hopeful, pump track.
Is the pump track waiting for the master plan?
No, the pump track, we don't have funding for yet.
But is it going to wait for the master plan?
Yeah, like, so the master plan, I think, would be done before the pump track money would actually arrive.
Yeah.
Because if they recommend that it go,
Yes, that was a concern.
Right.
So it's in the application, it's very kind of vague about the location intentionally so, and we would wait for the master plan to tell us where a good street would be.
But the concept remains the benches and.
Yeah,
eventually the-
potentially, because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and somebody has been. Who was telling me, Chelsea was telling me today, that she's received a few calls from people. Wanting to know the status of pickleball courts as far as finishing them. Due to the fact they wanna set up leagues.
Yeah.
And tournaments.
I was on the phone today with JM Sports.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to verify where we're at with the official nets.
Right,
And yes, they're all paid for. That was part of the 6,900
right,
that we paid him to put in the anchor bases.
right.
So he'll be bringing that with him when he comes to surface, and he said, listen, just as soon as spring breaks, I'm on my way.
Which brings up the question of what about putting the expansion joint in?
So far, I haven't got a reply yet. I've only contacted Gordy from Flat and Vertical Concrete.
Right,
I should give Hall Rock a call.
right.
But Gordy put in the
That's
slab,
that, I know,
so
that's
so
the
that's why I wanted to go through that.
Right, cause that's the thing, I mean, obviously you've got them ready to go with the coating and everything.
Yep,
But obviously you need something first,
yeah,
so that's, you know,
I'm gonna make a note and I'll
Okay.
call him again
yeah,
tomorrow.
but my original point was. If they wanna have tournaments and leagues and all that. They don't got 4 benches, we need more, something, I'm not saying we need more benches, but the picnic tables would be nice, so. That's why I'm saying that we can get pricing and everything, but.
that prompts another question or comment, and that is. Are we going to regulate if 2 leagues come in and then we get a complaint that
No public access.
there's no public access because of these leagues? I think we'll need to
I think we will,
at
but
least discuss.
yeah, and it's, well,
the volleyball
it's
and-
similar to a bowling league.
Right,
You know what I mean? It's like no public bowling, no public pickleball during the limited times.
Almost
We're
like
similar to
ball-
Craigwood,
Oh, yeah,
but
it's gonna
Craigwood has legally,
Yeah,
which we already manage.
right, see, yeah, that's.
So you're saying benches, picnic tables and fencing as far as the eye can see.
vending machines.
Oh, to the tree line, I can't go past the tree line, which I've already got.
Put it matches.
I already have code for it.
All right, so
So that's something that, you know, if you wanna think about it, we can use up some more of that 19,000.
and that's why point number 2 with the POS, I wanna get a feeling for how you all feel about this POS system at the airport. I really think that remains in our best interest to put in that POS system. And the airport management is not opposed to paying us back for that investment as the volume permits them to pay us. So in other words, if we have to put $28,000 up, we agree on $200 a month or something like that, and it takes 3 years to pay us back. And I think that's something we should continue to leave on the table with their administration out there.
Yeah, as long as they're willing to help.
Yeah,
I think it's necessary, the system is 100% necessary. It's just, is it worth for us to pay for it? Even though we own the tanks,
right.
but I don't see the advantage for us paying for it. But if they're willing to reimburse us over time,
Right,
that's fine on me.
okay.
But we
I'll
don't
just-
have 28,000.
No, and we couldn't even consider this until
Oh,
another
no.
budget
Well,
period.
that's what I mean, but
Yeah,
if, like I said, if they weren't willing to chip in or pay for it or whatever, I'd say no. At any point.
Or we just have to increase the cost of it substantially.
I think it's under contract.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I'll bring it up as it comes up. Item 3, I'd just like some clarity, maybe Emily, you can help with this.
I don't have any evidence.
Well, it's about the rail trail at that we talked
Oh,
to,
yes.
that we talked to Kathleen Martens about. Whether, you know, initially we showed an interest in maybe being able to help with that. But in further discussions, after she left us and went to Roost, there was discussion that Roost is already on this Upbase. What's that app they use for visitors to key in on different marketing or services in the area? I thought it was called Upbase or something like that. Anyway, Roost is trying to be, that would be their link to the rail trail.
That's where they would help out.
That's where they would help out.
Okay.
So at least, I don't wanna say that takes the burden off us, but at least it wouldn't leave us investing in something that we don't know anything about.
That's more appropriate too, if it's, the whole intention of that app is to
Is
steer
marketing,
people
yeah.
towards businesses, so.
Well, this
It's a better
Seems
fit.
like,
I just Googled Upbase, that's a project management software, I don't know if it's an application.
Okay, maybe
but
it's not
locations-
Upbase, it's. I'll have to call MJ and see what the name of that program is.
So I'm assuming though that if that doesn't like let us off the hook for Rail Trail asking for funds, it's just, they're just gonna ask for something else.
Right, well, and if our interest is in that aspect of the visitor being able to be tied into Rail Trail, then maybe because it's Roost in this program, it leaves us open to occupancy tax to help.
But I was assuming that Bruce was gonna pay for it,
That's what I don't know.
so to be seen.
Yep. So I guess I'll,
As
Track
an aside,
down
what did
MJ.
you find out about the bike racks?
the bike racks are on hold. Through Rail Trail,
Yeah, let's see if we remember why.
because the other 50% is still owed.
Is that what, and then wasn't there something about location too?
Yeah,
What do you mean the other 50% is still?
Like it wasn't a full, that leaf grant wasn't for the full amount.
I think there's still money owed on the bike racks, and they are not,
There wouldn't be money owed. They may have not gotten a full one, but there would be money owed. You
No,
only got-
not owed from leave,
Oh,
no.
if it was a 50%
deposit.
type of thing, 50-50, where Leaf paid, you know,
oh.
$100 and they had to raise $100.
Oh, well, they said, yeah, well, they also said, yeah, okay, that explains it. Okay, gotcha. I was gonna say, no.
And there's still a problem with the Lake Placid end
Oh,
until that parking lot is constructed.
Any of you have any committee reports?
Just because Sydney's, she was already in the paper, but I'm just gonna give a plug.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she moved her seats. I thought she went out and walked.
But I was
Oh,
gonna
she was
give
her agent, she went back.
Another plug to the board members about the March 19th meeting at Lisa G's to talk about a potential DRI or New York Forward grant. So that's my only committee report, I think.
Is there a,
Probably seven
this kind of sounds a
minutes.
little strange, but come for me to understand. Is it like 6 till something or 6, whatever?
6 till the Q and A is over.
Okay, anything else around the horn? All right, with that being said, Kathy, I think I'll move to you for budget adjustments. Can you hear us, Kathy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I sent them all to you via email again. There were 2 spreadsheets. One was for 2023. I think that they're just two very small ones that will be basically the end, and I'm hoping to have the annual report finished by the end of this week, so that should be, I mean, they're pretty self-explanatory. Unless you have questions. And then the one that was labeled for 2024, there's more than one tab on it, so you might have to look for the March 2024 tab. But there was a couple small adjustments. One was for Emily's reimbursement when she went down to Albany. Those are my cats, don't mind them.
Oh, housing, right?
Yeah.
And then, one for me for my, filing cabinet. I switched with Britt because we ordered 2 filing cabinets for the building department, but one of them was not deep enough for what they needed. And I had one that would work, so Britt and I switched, so I'm assuming that expense in my budget. And then there's some small amounts for Lori's budget to help offset the cost of that computer issue that Adrian had and reinstalling BAS and also getting a new chair for Adrian. So all of that would be coming out of my contracts and agreements line, which is where we had put that $20,000 for the possible switching of Edmonds for payroll. But subsequently, we decided to go with paychecks for a significant savings. And as a result, I'm asking the board to take $12,000 that's remaining in that contracts and agreements line and move it back to the general fund's contingent account. That way it won't get quote unquote spent without any oversight.
I already know what's there, so you better protect it.
Yeah, and then next on the list was the town garage equipment repairs and maintenance. At $3,900 was a quote that we received from Milton Cat for service work that needed to be done on the highway garage backup generator. And so we have to pay for it up front, but I will bill back a third each to the village and the school due to the MOA that we have in place for that. So two-thirds of that 3,900 would be the 26 that I'm asking to increase for the revenues. I apologize, I didn't put that in the column on the left. And the difference, the town's share, figured we could take that from the tax revenue we received for the cannabis for the first 6 months, because that was not budgeted revenues, so we can appropriate that.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, did you?
Oh, I saw, what you want to
23,000?
spend it for?
For our portion of. No, portion of.
We received 23,000.
I was like, it was offensive all time, no.
Backup generator, right?
Right, it's the backup generator at the highway garage.
So how you just mentioned, I can't believe I'm jumping on Jason's bandwagon right now, but someone just mentioned, what was with the $12,000? Oh, you said you wanted to move it to contingency.
Right.
So that it didn't get mixed into general fund? Well,
that is in the general fund.
It is in
It's
general.
it's in my department budget right now, but I don't need that $12,000. So I want to take it out of my department. So I don't spend it on stupid stuff. And have you guys.
Oh, the backup generator.
So I want to put in the
Yeah.
contingent account because everything that's put in that contingent account can't be touched without board approval.
Yeah, so.
And we should put everything in there, so Derek.
But what I was gonna say is that I actually have some feelings about the cannabis fund, and, cause I'm gonna call it a fund. And maybe the cannabis money should not just be thrown into the general fund and be
And
used.
that's where we have to put it according to the state comptroller's office. I looked it up.
Okay, but it has to
Actually
be a
assigned
state.
an account. They actually assigned an account. They said you must put it in this account.
But internally, we can have rules on how it's spent.
Yeah, it's general fund revenue. You guys can spend it on whatever you
So, yeah,
want.
we can earmark it for.
So.
We just have to agree.
Do you have
But we just gotta.
specific thoughts?
Well-
No, education.
Well, the initial one was CYC, where the Lake Placid Marathon was the major sort of fundraiser. Students during their senior projects would come and put applications in for grants. Now, I would like to see a portion of that available to increase sort of a connection with students to their community and actually kind of interface with government a little bit more. So if they know there's another source, it doesn't have to be an exorbitant amount, but at least if we can start somewhere that, hey, it's available, then we communicate it to staff members at the school. So as they're aware and they are mentoring their students, that we can kind of facilitate that sort of component.
Is CYC still? a thing?
That's a different, that's not probably an avenue.
I only ask that because, you know, do we want to govern our own grants?
Yeah,
Well,
I think that was the thought.
Yeah, that they would have to come before us. We
Right.
know that they.
And we have
submitted
extra
application.
money that we can.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can, I mean, that's an excellent idea. Over time, hope, you know, we don't have no idea what that revenue's gonna be over time.
That's,
How many-
I think that's a pretty good idea. How,
And that's
how,
all 6 months.
But that's the
No,
first 6 months of its existence.
Right.
That's like, now,
Yeah, that's the thing, but that's one I think it's a great facet, excuse me, an excellent facet.
no.
Come on up with me.
Excellent, he's an
No, that was excellent.
But no, so, but I think we all should think about other things to do, because over time, it could amount to a fair amount.
Of course.
And what you think about that, but that primarily, I think that's good place to start.
Sure, and I just, the caveat, or at least what I would like to emphasize is that it's, you know, oh, an expense comes up. And then all of a sudden, oh, we have this laying around, let's just use that, and then
We burn it up.
Yeah.
So what you guys wanna do is set up a reserve of fund balance.
Right. Correct.
Ideally.
Yes.
Put it in there and then you can earmark it for whatever you decide to
Right.
use funds for.
Yes,
yeah, I guess I don't really wanna see it being used to pay for 1/3 of the cost of a backup generator.
All
No,
right.
yeah, it's a
So we
good,
just need to
let's
find
not.
someplace else to get that money from. Where would you like me to find it?
Fund balance. ARPA,
ARPA.
whatever money Derek's got lying around.
check the cushions of the chair, really.
I'm okay with ARPA if you want.
So some of the remaining 19,000?
Yeah,
So do you
Okay, so-
work on
I will do that then.
topic? Do you want to work on some
And
guidelines?
the
Yeah,
figure
I'll go
is
through some of my.
that 131789.
But yeah.
Yes, that would be the amount that would go
Yeah.
from ARPA.
Can you help with that?
All right.
Not do it, but help you with it.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so you guys are all
That's
good
the
with that decision?
Yes, put in, yeah, don't put it toward the generator, put it in general fund reserved.
So at the workshop at the end of the month, if you all think about what you would like to earmark the monies for, then we
Yeah.
can discuss.
Well, I think it's like a whole process of like creating a criteria and an application and.
Yeah.
And I have some
No,
other,
I meant just for doing the reserve of the fund balance.
okay,
Cause
Yeah.
we have to, that has to be an official board
So it'll
action.
be in the general fund.
So you're saying, well,
Reserved in the
Reserve.
for the April meeting, we have to have, we'll formally move to make it a reserve account and then
Right.
start. Okay.
Correct, yep. And at that time, I should also have any amounts that we need to take out of our unappropriated, unassigned fund balances to put into reserves. Based on our fund balance policy, because I'll have the annual report done by then, so we'll know exactly what we've got in fund balance as of the end of the year at that point.
Cool. All right.
And then, I'm sorry, I have a few more things.
Yep, I know. I think it's, is personnel recommendations one of them?
No, I'm not done the budget adjustments yet.
Okay.
I put on the list the unallocated insurance and put the word pending there because I wanted to talk to you about that, so I wouldn't forget. With the switch over from Travelers to NYMER and the effective date of being February 1, we had to pay a couple of the Travelers policies for 2024 in full at the beginning of the year, and then we also had to pay a portion of a couple other policies to Travelers so that we didn't lose insurance for that first month of January. And then we had to pay all of the NYMER policy. We are still working with NFP to get a refund from Travelers. We don't know how much it's going to be yet. That's what we're working on. So there will be a budget adjustment but I don't know how much it's gonna be. I'm hoping we're gonna get a refund of $35,000, $40,000 from Travelers. But I can tell you that the amount that our NYMER insurance that we paid is over what our original budget was by about $25,000. So at some point, probably by next board meeting, I'm hoping in April, we'll have that number. And I'll be coming back to you with that.
Okay,
And then in the highway fund for beautification, for whatever reason, when I presented the budget to the board, I did not either remember that you didn't want to fund $33,000 for fencing, and it got approved and budgeted. So I'm asking the board to move that out of the beautification department into contingency in the highway.
well, just as a reminder, we have 30,000 under ARPA for fencing alone.
Yeah, but that's.
But that's a combination of Raybrook water fencing.
That's not the highway. Yeah, that's not the highway fund.
No,
No.
but my point is, there's money allocated for fencing. So her point in reallocating this $30,000 is what we can discuss without losing out on fencing. Yeah.
No, that's not true, Derek, but good try.
Yeah.
It's a different tax base. You can't just arbitrarily move it from one fund to another.
So it has to stay on highway.
This $33,000 that was budgeted in the highway fund has to stay in the highway fund. You can't move it to Raybrook, you can't move it to the airport.
No, we already,
No, I
no, I got
Then
you.
what's
know
your
that.
idea?
No, I'm just saying, no, it's not the idea is, when we talked about the 33,000, we didn't say we were gonna spend it.
right.
We didn't decide upon that. And if we do, and everybody went down and looked at it, we gotta come up with a plan down there.
Yeah,
We
I
need to
think
do something.
the holdup was, let's see what the master plan says.
Right.
And then maybe fencing goes in a different location, so wherever you spend $33,000
That's
for
it.
fencing, it's gonna be.
That's it. And even if we do leave it right where it is, we can, and, I mean, right now, I mean, to be honest,
What does that mean?
compress. Go from this
Trying
to
to,
this.
trying to hypnotize you.
Okay.
Funds that would.
Hey, so, you know, the Association of Towns is having that finance school and they're gonna talk about funds. I think you all should go to that.
Thanks, Kathy.
What is it?
I don't know how many times I have to tell you that you can't move money from one fund to another, but that's okay.
Next.
That's why I'm here.
Main thing down there now is just to stop animal movement.
Which
So
is.
anyway, I'm just saying, I would like for you all to approve moving that money out of
Major one is the gate.
into contingent fund, so it doesn't get spent without your approval. And
Yeah,
some-
that's fine.
guys could
We're gonna fix
Spend it.
That,
But I guess what Dick is saying is that it still could be used for fencing and beautification if we decide to move forward with it.
That is correct.
Even though you're moving it to back
contingency.
to contingency highway.
Yeah, because when you decide what you want to do down there, and if it includes putting up a fence or anything else, you can go back to the contingent monies, take a portion or all of it out and put it towards something for the highway, whether it be fence or a truck or paving or whatever you decide you want to do with it.
so that's their choice.
Yeah, no, yeah, no problem.
Contingency.
No, I just looked at this and when Kathy said, you know, we budgeted for it and we approved, no,
Right.
no.
Yeah, I did not take it out. I know that there was the discussion, but for whatever reason, I missed it. So
I like the fact that it's still in.
so there it is.
But we can put it back and take it out again, so it's okay.
Correct, yes.
Do not switch funds.
No, I'm not going
Not
to.
switch funds.
There you have it.
Both these told me, no.
So the last one is is that invoice that we were talking about with the ARPA was for the toboggan chute camera installs. So now I'm done with budget amendments.
Interestingly, though, the next one is called inter-fund transfers.
So
But I-
yes,
Sure, not.
because the ARPA funds can be used for any government approved expenditure, which means they can be moved between funds.
And is that's the only source that can be moved?
That was part of the regulations, when they put them out, yep.
Thank God, you're going to Albany.
There's, you know, it's government, there's always exceptions. So that's it, anyway.
Very good.
Budget. Oh, well, no, actually, I take that back. Part of the budget amendments, going back to my contracts and agreements, I would like to go with paychecks starting payroll with them effective September 1st. And that would be reducing the Logix portion. It's all, I have it written out on a nurse sheet in that.
Kathy, I thought we already okayed that.
Yep, but this is part of the budget amendment, so that's what's in there.
Okay.
It's also, the cash collections, depending on what the board decides going forward, the cash collections portion is also in there.
Okay. Okay,
Now I'm done.
good deal. Thank you, Kathy.
Personnel actions?
We want to accept the audits.
No, we have to do the motion on those.
The budget amendment.
Oh, a motion to accept budget amendments.
So moved.
Dick, second. Emily, any further discussion? And we know we can't move the funds.
And we're all gonna, when was the school again?
Yeah,
Kathy?
really.
I gave the info to Adrian,
Okay.
No.
just yesterday.
When is it?
It's in April.
Of course it is.
Yeah, like not spring break.
No, I think it's the first week in April in Albany for 2 days.
That doesn't work. Okay.
Sorry. But there's lots of stuff on the state comptroller's website for your edification.
All right,
That's fun.
so
No.
discussion's over, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Passed. Now I'll take a motion to accept the audits.
So moved.
Second.
Rick and Emily, further discussion? All in favor? Aye. No one opposed, that carries. We're at a section of the agenda for persons' opportunity to speak.
Like to speak.
I just have one more budget Kathy question though. Do we not have to have, like, what about her others, like her personnel actions and stuff like that? We don't have to act.
Yeah, we need to approve those.
Oh, we did.
We can put them together.
Or was that done as a package?
Generally it is.
Okay.
I'll put
I
them
just,
together.
I didn't have any questions. I just saw them on there. I just wanted-
Okay,
We're good.
sorry,
Sorry,
Dick,
Jeff.
you're up.
Now you're up.
So I just sort of want to give all the board members my letter of resignation from Lake Pleasant Board of Council. As well as just some other information that I just want to provide, so just pass on all around. The information, there's been kind of question about, about the direction of Lake Pleasant Sports Council. And I just sort of want to sort of identify that, this meeting was in February 2nd, 2022. And the things that I've been talking about currently were identified back in 2022. So I don't think there has been a change in the direction and interests of the Lake Pleasant Sports Council. On top of that, the only sort of comment that I had to make is that sort of heard a bit of some robust public conversations on some topics, the sidewalk, some other, other topics that have kind of come about, I've seen things in the past with, like the Ironman, the contract for Ironman, or, talk about the short-term rentals with a very robust process where there's feasibility studies and there's, public comment periods and all that type of things. I have not yet seen that for the Orta lease, even though I know that the negotiations were started back in October of 2023, and I don't believe anything has been on the public record about those negotiations to date. So that does concern me a bit that things, in some cases, negotiations have literally been done in a back room. And I don't think that serves the public well. That's part of the reason for my resignation.
That's all I have. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, no. It's fine. Thank you.
Is there any comments with Jeff's statements, or should I move on to others? Person's opportunity to speak.
We, like the negotiations, at some point. There's gonna be more of a public forum or
Contract
something,
negotiations are definitely.
but whenever there's something, I guess when they are confidential. The public will be made aware and have a chance to weigh in.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, yeah, okay.
Part of the process.
I've heard that there's a draft gonna be finished at the end of this month.
Not to my knowledge.
That was the original goal when we met. We met with Orta in February 1st, and that's when I feel that the negotiations, the contract talks were initiated. And the goal was to have the first draft by the end of March, but in a latest conversation, and I'm trying to recall where it was, that is not going to happen. It's still with council, Orta's council, and our council. Just ironing out the preliminaries. We haven't seen it. Or received any feedback.
That's right, there's been nothing from either legal counsel.
I haven't seen it.
Sydney, can I entertain questions?
Yes, you can entertain. I have a question and I have a correction, so I'll give you guys the correction first. With the JACK program, because I wrote an article about it a couple months ago. To my knowledge, they aren't necessarily looking for one job per student. At least with the Olympic Center, from what I understand, they kind of offered them like an array of jobs and they each just happened to pick a different one. Through their own separate interests, so that's definitely something you could talk to Keith about. I'm not sure if he's expecting 7 jobs for 7 students, like separate tasks.
You're accurate. I've spoken with Keith.
Cool. That's good. A reporter likes to hear that.
You heard that before?
I do like to hear that. And then, yeah, just my question, going back to this Orta thing, you said that you met with Orta in February. I don't recall seeing a public notice for this meeting, so I was just wondering about that.
It was a liaison.
It was a liaison.
There was not board meeting.
How many board members were there?
One from Orta. And 2 from us.
Yep.
So I thought there was 3 board members in that meeting from the town.
Who was there? Derek. So Derek, Emily, and I was 3.
Okay, I'm not like the most familiar with open meeting laws, but doesn't that constitute a quorum?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. There's deliberations with council whether.
Yeah.
If decisions are not made, if it's just informational. But that's my take on it.
Ours as well.
Alright, I'll probably be following up in the next couple of days, but I just wanted to ask that.
Sounds good.
That's all for me.
That's it.
That's it.
Anything further from the board? Questions? Before we adjourn, we are in need of an executive session, personnel issue. So I guess with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. First.
I would make a motion that we adjourn.
Yep, and, no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Now I need a motion to go into executive session, of which I expect no decision to come from this executive session. I guess mostly I'm saying that for you, Lori, so you don't have to wait to see what we're talking about.
If I can interject a procedural.
Yep.
I don't think we adjourn our meeting before going into
No,
executive
you
session?
just, you just.
We'll just go into
Let's go,
executive.
and then we come out of executive session and then return to the meeting.
Okay.
So do I need to adjourn?
No, it doesn't matter. I just, that you have to.
I make a motion
I
to
did
go
the
into
motion.
executive session. There you
That's
go.
what I read.
Second,
I did that anyway.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
all in favor?
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Kathy.
Thanks for sticking around, Gary.
Yeah, thanks for.
Oh, yeah.
Don't touch that cannabis money,
I know you were.
even for fencing.
I could tell. It was good to see you.
It is.